Okay, so on our last video I had gone to mill and run layer and chose drill, and when I chose that, this window actually popped up, and what it tells me is please insert the 32 mil tool, which we did in the last video again. So one option that you will have here is, gives me an option, use contour router instead of drill. I'm not using a contour router here, as you know, because our contour router is 62 and it has that rope like thread, as you remember. Instead I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna click drill again, and then I'm gonna change this value of 55 inches. So if I go down to my taskbar, I actually have my document library of PCB milling open, the CNC mill tutorial on. So let me scroll down to page 11, or maybe not. There you go. So it says 32 mil tool, and it gives me 3000 or 2400 rotations per minute as when I choose drill bit. So I go back here and it actually gives me something else. There you go. Now this guy popped up, so I click on 2400. Let me go back and make sure. It says it's actually 24,000. So hit 24,000, and now I hit my jog key, and then I'm gonna test the depth of it. And the way I'm gonna test the depth of it is I'm gonna keep my jog key on, and I'm gonna go back to my SharePoint, and I will actually see a page where it tells me how to set my depth. Basically what I have to do is set my pressure foot right on the copper and my drill bit right outside the copper, and then test it. Now let's actually go and check it out. So I pull IsoPro here, I set my jog open, and then using my keyboard I'm gonna test it. Let's see. So I'm gonna push it back. Not yet. Okay. There you go. At this moment my foot pedal is exactly on the copper, and my drill bit is exactly outside the copper. If I go a little bit more, it'll break my bit. But as you can see, I can see how far that bit is gonna go through the copper. Right now I see it going all the way through the copper and deeply into the material, so I'll have to adjust it. Now the way I'm going to adjust this is using two things. One thing is called the screw. The screw, basically, I can turn it this way and make it plus, or the other way and make it minus. Plus means increasing the depth, minus means decreasing the depth. That's how I can change the depth. Another way is using these two. What basically this does is changes the foot pedal depth. So if I increase this, or if I shift this manually, I can increase or decrease the how deep the foot pedal will go. And by increasing or decreasing the screw, I actually increase or decrease it, the depth of the bit. So basically it's two different things doing it's two different items doing two different things, but the result is the same. The result is you alternate the or you alter the depth of your bit. Now most of the time you will only end up in using these or this screw to actually test the depth. So when I go here, I actually decrease it until I see the drill bit going right through the copper and just into the backing material. A drill bit should go right through the copper, all the way through the copper, and just into the backing material. And I feel like that's kind of ready, so I'm gonna test it. The way I'm gonna test it is I'm gonna go back here, I'm gonna click on spindle on, and then I'm gonna jog it and press head down at some point, and then I'm gonna press head up. Now Okay, so right now I have this small drill hole that I made to this bit, and I can go down through my copper and test the hole of it to make sure light is passing through it, and it seems to me that it does, which means my bit size is good, or my depth is good, so I am ready to go. So, and basically the main reason of me not putting this tape over here is to do the same. I can kind of push this copper board a little bit up and check the depth of it and make sure light passes through. If I don't have it, it would be difficult because there would be tape covering it and kind of holding the two together. So that's the main reason I don't have tape here. Okay, so now I can go back here and click on close, and then I can click on OK, and this thing will actually go. And there you go. Now I look back at my screen on the monitor, I see that nothing pops up. When nothing shows up after you run a layer, that means that it's done running your layer. Let's say there were two types of holes, two type of drill holes on your board. Let's say there's a 62 and a 32. What's going to happen is it's going to first ask you to put in a 62, and once you're done, or once the machine is done drilling the 62-bit holes, another screen will pop up saying, okay, now put in a 32 drill bit tool, and then you put in your 32 drill bit and then run the layer again. We will do that on our copper top, but in this particular layout there's only one size of drill hole, which is a 32 mils. So this video basically showed you how to set your depth and run a layer. Thank you. I'll see you next video on doing the copper top.